So for the longest time, I have really wanted to do a podcast, a video broadcast, combination of the two. And recently, I was written a question by someone that follows me, and I decided to do a video answering her. And it surprised me when she actually did a video response back and put it on YouTube. And I was like, oh my God, this is like so cool. It was like something that actually my whole time I've been doing the Women's Hair Loss Project, which was since 2007. Nobody has actually ever done that. So she's the first. So I thought this would be a great person to have on for my first preliminary, whatever you want to call it, podcast. And her name is Ashley, and she is joining us here on the line.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So yeah, I wanted to thank you for sending me that video because I was actually like I said, it's something that's never been done before. Like I've never had somebody actually video me back, telling me their story and like interacting that way. So it was so cool that I thought this would be like a great opportunity or like a jumping point to kind of open up the dialogue for women's
Yeah.
hair loss more and discuss it like this, like on the phone or on video or something like that. And I was curious to know more about your story, about your hair loss, and so that people know like what age you were when it started, started happening, and all of that. You know what your journey's been like.
I've actually never shared my story with anyone, probably rather than just my mom and a little bit to you in that video, but I didn't really go into depth with it. But it started happening when I was 23. Prior to that, I had no idea it was a thing, honestly. I thought it was just something that guys get, honestly, and never really even thought about that either. It didn't never really bother me. And I would always get compliments on my hair all the time, but I didn't really, think of, hair wasn't a big thing to me at all. So it's
Yeah, it's
crazy how,
something you don't think about when it's not happening to you.
yeah, right.
We just take it for granted. We totally take it for granted. It's just going to be there forever. That's what we think, right?
Right. And so it's crazy when that you realize it's actually a thing you're dealing with. But so it started happening. I graduated college and I was 23 and I was in my first more serious relationship, probably about 8 months. And then I found out he cheated on me. And
I'm sorry to hear that.
that's where it started. That's where it started. And not immediately. It takes some time. I think telogen, I'm probably going to say that wrong, euphobium or euphobium, whatever.
The telogen effluvium.
Yeah, like whenever you're go through a
Mm-hmm.
stressful event, you'll fall out, your hair will fall out 30 to 6 months later or something.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So I thought it was just that, and it might have been just that, but I was also going to my gynecologist, freaking out, why is my hair falling out? She checked my thyroid, which it was good, which I actually am hypothyroid. It came about 3 years later.
Right.
So, anyways, that she told me to get off my birth control. That was probably the worst thing I could have done,
Oh God.
in my opinion.
Yeah. So you were actually
still,
on birth control when you were with,
Mhm.
and then she told
Yeah,
you, hey, this could the cause of your hair loss. So get off.
yeah. I
Which
listened to her, and when my hormones were all out of whack already, and because I was so stressed, and it does that, and I was so sad. I was just going through issues, and then so when my hair started falling out, I was just really freaking out about everything. And so yeah, she just told me to get off. And again, I've seen posts on Spencer's Instagram, and quite recently the one he posted about birth control,
Yeah.
and don't tell us. And that I've always wondered if maybe maybe it was just the telogen whatever, and it would have corrected itself, but maybe it was getting off the birth control that actually triggered it.
My own hair loss, which started in 1999, was actually caused by getting off of the pill Loestrin Fe. So I was like, thinking it was just going to be that shed that was going to eventually stop. And, it actually never did. It just kept going and going and going and going. And then come to find out, if you're like one of the unlucky bunch that has like this genetic predisposition for hair loss, whether you get on the pill or you get off of the pill, you run the risk of basically flipping that switch within your body and had it not been for that action of mine, having gotten on the pill, getting off the pill, it's very possible that I would not have actually encountered hair loss until like similar to my mom, to like menopause. Like I would have gotten to live all of those years with my hair, but 21 years old, like an idiot, I felt, because I didn't know. I mean, people get on the pill all the time and nobody told me. So, yeah, there definitely should be more education and awareness out there about how, that this is a possibility that can happen. It may not happen for everybody, but you're running the risk.
Right. I mean, it should be a warning on there.
Yeah, in my opinion, this should be like a black box warning.
Yeah, this is serious.
I want a black box warning of hair loss.
This is lifelong. So, yeah. Again, I don't know whether it was the coming off the pill when I was already also stressed out, and I was losing my hair at that point in time, but that could have been just stress from like that tragic event I went through. But I'll never know. I just know I went on a journey forever with my mom trying to get it fixed. I went to trying to figure it out because, I was still hopeful for years that it would come back. I'm 28 now, so I guess I've been dealing with it for 5 years.
Yeah.
About 5 years and some months probably. And so we went to the dermatologist. She did a scalp biopsy. She said it was basically androgenic alopecia and sent me on my way. And I was like, just what the heck, like so devastated. And she was just so nonchalant.
What was it that what did she give you that you went on your way with?
Spironolactone.
Oh, yeah, okay. Aldactone, spironolactone. Yeah, I took that also. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to get your blood checked and stuff, and it's actually for high blood pressure, I think. But yeah. I mean, I wasn't on that for it. Didn't do anything, and then she bumped me up higher to 200 milligrams, and then my hair started shedding anymore, and then I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism. So I feel like that. I started Googling about spironolactone causing hypothyroidism. Like, I was literally thought that freaking triggered that. So I got off that mess. And, but so what else? I went to Dr. Greco, did the PRP. I think it's called something else. There's something else, but I did that probably 3 times. Never really helped me, I don't think either. I tried like laser cap thing. I tried something else. Like, I just did a lot, and it just took.
But did you try standing on your head? Because I tried that. I figure, I don't know. Maybe if the blood flow goes down, like something's got to work.
Oh, yeah. Maybe that's my fix.
I mean, that might be the magic bullet.
It might be. It might be what I've needed all these 5 years. But, no, I did try the little roller micro needle blade too.
It sounds like you've done it. You did it all. You did the microneedling. You did the spironolactone. You did the PRP. Did you do minoxidil?
Yes, I did do that.
You did that.
I just grew sideburns. Yeah.
I did that as well. I also took the pill that's really supposed to be just for men, which is prescribed like Propecia. It's finasteride, and it's only I took that.
I'm still prescribed to that, but I've taken that too. I'm still prescribed to it, but I really don't even take it regularly because I don't even feel like it does anything either.
I was like, basically, this is like going from like bad to worse. So I go to treat my hair loss. Here we are wanting to like help our situation. And actually for me, since when I got off the pill, that's what kicked in my hair loss. The doctor that I saw said in some women, you get back on this hair-friendly pill and you're going to restabilize your hormones and then your hair will come back. So I was so desperate. Like, I very reluctantly did what I really regretted, which was getting back on the pill because it was like the devil to me. And then I was stuck on it because I was afraid to get off, because guess what happened the first time I got off the pill? My hair started falling out like crazy, and I couldn't risk a possible shed again. So I was stuck on this pill for 13 years before I got the balls to get off of it. And I only did that after I actually started wearing wigs. So once I started wearing wigs, I was able to get off the aldactone. I was able to get off the pill because I said, worst case scenario, I have wigs now, But I was like stuck on these medications. It sucked. And like with the finasteride, between the finasteride and the minoxidil, my face broke out. I was greasy. So basically now I have hair loss and I'm getting uglier by the day while I was on these medications. I'm just like, what the heck? Like, this is like not cool. And mind you, I'm like 21 years old. This is not, that was
Yeah,
not
it's
how I thought I was going to be celebrating, my 21st
my first
birthday.
birthday. Um, I'm actually stuck on birth control too.
See,
So
they say
I'm still,
they get you back on it, and then you can't get off. Okay,
yeah,
because if you can, I mean, you can obviously, but you run the risk of that shed happening again. And once, as the hair loss, like you said, you've already had it now for 5 years. You have less hair now than you did then, so now you have less to offer back to the universe, right? Falling
oh,
out of
I
your
know.
head.
It's so hard going through that like at a young age. I mean,
Yeah,
I say myself, if this would have hit me, couldn't it like at least hit me in my late 30s or early
right.
40s? But I mean, even then, I probably would have been devastated. I say that, but like, I mean, I feel I'm supposed to be in my prime here.
Right. This is
Like, um,
this is your prime time. I was like, and I've always said this, but I basically I don't want to say slept through, but it was just a depression throughout my entire 20s into my 30s. That's why I started my site in 2007, because I was at such a low point in my life. And there wasn't anybody online that I found relatable to my type of hair loss. There are people, obviously, women that have been losing their hair forever, all kinds of different types of hair loss. But I didn't find anybody that had my type of hair loss that was, young with their hair loss and like, talking about it. So I just kind of like did like this online diary to chronicle, my story. And I actually didn't even think anybody would write me back. But I actually remember the day someone actually wrote me back. I was actually watching TV and a comment came in through my post. I think her name was like Mia. All right. And I was like, oh my God, there's another one out there in the universe, and her name is Mia. Okay. I'm not alone in this anymore. It's not just me. And so it started with me, and then there was her, and then a couple more people came out and started sharing their stories. It's just like that did help me though, to know that I wasn't alone, because all that time before, from 1999 till 2007, I'm thinking like I'm the only human being on the planet that is actually, or the only woman, I should say, that is dealing with this in the same manner of as which I was. Like I'm the only one. And that's a sucky feeling. Like the only thing worse than like
yeah,
losing your hair is losing your hair and
you're the
thinking
only
that it's
one.
just you. It's
Yeah.
so that's why I think it's so important that you tell your story and that women have it out there, because even if you just like reach one person or somebody, you say something that's connecting with that one person, like I believe you're changing their life. It just takes like that one thing to make all the difference for them.
Right. And that's why I reached out to you because, I mean, I had looked at your website, but I don't know that you really update it
Yeah.
that much anymore. And so I went to Instagram because, again, I feel like things are moving to social media, of
Mm-hmm.
course. And I've followed you for a while. I just never, I always wanted to reach out because, again, yeah, I don't know anyone else who deals with
Yeah.
this. I never talked to another person that understands the little bitty struggles,
Yeah,
you know?
the little things, yeah, like the joys of taking a shower and your hair is wrapped around your toes. Like, how is that possible? You know, like
Oh, yeah. Or,
that's a thing. Pulling hair out of places that shouldn't be having hair.
so I guess I found your website probably, I guess it was probably a year or so after I was going through that. And I read a lot of stories, and I asked to join actually, but I don't think I ever got accepted
And I'm
really.
really sorry, by
But
the way. I'm really sorry about that, by the way. It's not just, I wanted to say something real quick because it's an important point you just touched on here. Is that I'm not like trying to deliberately like ignore people or anything like that, but just like you pointed out, I've been so busy with life and work and everything that I wasn't actively updating my site. And then I wasn't actively working on the network side of it. So like, I feel really bad because I got to do more with that. So if anybody asks me for an invite code, please, send it back over me. Like, send it to me again. I'm not trying to ignore anybody. It's just that, it's just that life gets crazy sometimes. So I wasn't ignoring you specifically.
oh no, I figured. But reading those stories on there, and there's different, so many different categories, and so many people's stories on what they used, what helped, if they got over it, which I do think that did help me, make me feel not not as alone. But I didn't I still didn't reach out to anyone personally,
Yeah.
so I could talk to them about it. I did try to get Dr. Greco gave you somebody was going to give me somebody to get in contact with. I don't know that it was you, but just someone I could talk to. But again, I never followed up with them because I just feel like I was depressed, and I would just kind of push things aside and pretend that I'm okay because, you think about it every day.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just want to feel like have a normal day
Yes.
and not worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then your Instagram, I found that. So I was like, I wonder, since her website's not updated, let's just go there and just see if she has
And apparently she's not dead. Oh my God.
Yeah, she's still alive. And but you didn't really upload that much on there either until until recently.
It's so true though. It's so true. 100%.
But you're getting back into it, and I mean that makes me feel really happy, honestly. So, and you responded to me. I didn't expect you to respond to me. I didn't know if you just got to acceptance point in your life, and you're just like, oh, whatever about this anymore. But I mean, you were, you mean like I was like, oh yeah, this,
peace out, people.
Yeah, I'm done. Y'all figure it out.
You're on your own.
So yeah, the website definitely. If it wasn't for the website, it would have never led us to be having this conversation right now. I'd say that.
Yeah, for sure. It was actually, like I said, it was a very. Actually, you're instrumental. I should say this. You're instrumental in me kind of pushing myself to do this podcast and to start having more of a dialogue. And yes, I know my website is archaic, and I'm going to start updating it and actually putting more content on it, so that, it's not all dusty. And I'll put more on social media too, I swear. But like, I feel like I'm like the old person, like I have to like figure out like how to do all that stuff. I see like there's filters and like things are swinging around the whatever. There's boomerangs. Like I'm like that old person. I'm going to be 42 this year, and I'm learning how to use like Instagram. So.
Well, you're fooling me pretty well because you're doing pretty good at it.
I mean, I learn little tricks. I learn little tricks here and there, and I'm like super proud of myself when I do. I'm like, oh, wait a second. I can do there's like a GIF. Oh, snap. I'm like, that's pretty cool. Okay. So.
Well, I could also help you with some
that
ideas
would be,
of some posts you could do.
Yeah. I'd love that. Love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thank you actually for. You see what I mean? Is like you took the time. I took the time to do that video for you, but you took the time to put the video on YouTube that you sent me to share your story and to connect with me back. And because of that, that is pushing me to dust off my website more and have this conversation. So yeah, you're like going to be.
This is great.
You're going to be super
helpful.
You're helping right now. You're helping so many people. You don't even know it, and that's like a good feeling.
Helping me because there's also, like, I know if anyone's listening to this, like, and you're like me, you feel like you're too scared, like, talk to anybody about it. Like, obviously you're out about it with you're like, you even said you're kind of overly open about it.
Yeah.
I'm not like that. I don't want to draw attention to it, like, to myself. So nobody knows like this besides like my mom.
Yeah.
And a therapist a couple therapists I've told. So by talking to you and sharing this, it's going to help me, be able to get to a point where I don't feel ashamed about this. And who cares? Whatever, wasn't the best card to be dealt, but
it's not, yeah, exactly. It's not the best hand to be dealt, like you said, but when you, like, I don't know if I want to call it like lemons into lemonade, or that's cheesy, but like, when you start feeling like the situation that you're dealing with, which is hair loss in this, case, is not just all in vain. Like once I realized I was able to connect with people, once I realized I was able to help people, it made my pain less, because I was like, well, at least something good came out of this mess that occurred in my life. Like at least it made it less painful. I mean, it's painful no matter what, but I was at least it had a purpose, I wasn't just losing my hair for nothing.
Right, exactly. You've probably helped a lot of people that you don't even know. And there's also so many people like me who needed a few drinks in order to get the courage to message you.
I think what you said was that you sent the message and then deleted it all because you were drinking when you did it.
Yeah, and I was like, oh well, I don't know what the hell I said. Deleted it when I was drunk. I just don't think she'll write back anyways. So I messaged her and I was like, oh shit, what did I say? Um, so yeah, I mean, I know there's people out there like me that are too scared to talk about it because they're so ashamed,
It,
even if it's to someone that relates to you.
I have a question. I'm wondering, like, how how your hair loss has basically impacted your day to day life, like from wanting to date. I don't know if I think you said that you were out of a relationship, but wanting to date, your relationships, your friendships, going out, socializing, school, work, whatever. How's it like altered you?
Well, I mean, honestly, I think about it every single day. Some days are okay, some days are
Yeah.
better than others. And I was actually just thinking about the other day when I was talking to my therapist. I was like, sometimes I wonder, where I would be or what I would be worried about, at this point in my life if I didn't have this hair loss thing. I was like, what would my thoughts be like?
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's changed me as like, as far as like who I am as a person and like my qualities about myself and everything. But I'm so much more self-conscious that
Yeah.
I don't have the self-confidence that I used to, and that's something I'm trying to work on. I have, I don't like to look close in the mirror.
Hmm.
And I brush my teeth. I literally do not look at myself in the mirror. Like, it's little things I've adapted to. As far as friendships, I mean, they're all pretty much the same. I kind of feel like I'm just like hiding this big secret from everyone. I don't know how to talk about it.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a hard thing to talk about because also like I think people don't really know how to respond. Like,
right.
I was open. I should clarify that while I was before I started wearing hair, I didn't go to my friends and the people that knew me during that time. They didn't find out about my dark secret because I started out with so much hair that I was able to get by for a long time, still looking like I had like a pretty normal head of hair. And so they didn't find out my dark secret until I got to the point that I wore wigs. And then I told them, okay, so I think that was like 13 years after I started losing my hair. So, I mean, I didn't just like, that was like a slow, adjustment for me there to just, I didn't want to, yeah, I didn't want to talk about it. I thought it was like embarrassing. I mean, it's super embarrassing. Like, I feel it felt deficient, and people,
Yeah,
yeah,
it just takes away, like, you don't feel like it's feminine. I don't know, like, hair's everything to girls, and I always hear my friends, talking about going to get their hair done and all this, and I don't do that anymore. I don't get dye in my hair. I just let it be a natural color, and I just go get trimmed. I'm terrified. I hate going to the hairdresser. Like,
yeah,
that's the other thing. Like, it used to be my favorite thing to do. I used to love going to get my hair done.
yeah,
And I mean, that's a thing of the past for me to be excited about. So, I mean, yeah, that's changed. But I think about it every day, several times a day. Actually, like, I've been just kind of hit a bump recently. I swear I was just like wearing hats like all
mm-hmm,
the time, like beanie. It's cold here where I'm at, and so I've been wearing like beanies or hats, and I found myself just not wanting to go out or deal with my hair and just put a beanie on, and
yeah,
that's something I've made a change to do this new year. But I mean, really hit me when I went to some dive bar, and this was like a couple weeks ago, and this you know guy, he was a little flamboyant, and he was just like, "You're so pretty, but like I just need to like fix you up. You look homeless." So he
oh
called me homeless.
God, oh my
And
God,
he
that's
was like
horrifying.
trying to remove my hat, and I was just like, I probably hadn't washed my hair in like 3 days,
Oh my
and
God.
I was just, I came home and cried, and I called my mom, and I mean, she was just like, "Did someone die? Like, are you okay?" Like, and I just broke down, and so then that kind of hit me because he didn't realize I was wearing a beanie or hat because I didn't want to deal with my hair. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. I get it. I mean, I still look homeless a lot of times because I wear like a beanie if I'm not wearing my wig or whatever. But like, I just got comfortable with like, that's my homeless look for the day or whatever. So be it, I'm not going to be impressing anybody.
Right. So I just, I knew, like, I mean, this stranger actually helped me in a way because I was just going to make a point to, I mean, I have stuff to like conceal my hair. So it never goes away. You just learn to adapt with it. I mean, I'm not like, and it's in ups and downs. I'm a better place, I'd say, than I was first dealing with it because I've accepted it a little more that it's not going to come back. But I mean, I guess when I think about it, I get depressed about it sometimes. So it's something that just sticks with you.
I'm actually, you're 5 years, you have 5 years of hair loss. I'm actually, to be honest with you, I'm impressed because I feel like you are so much further along in this journey of acceptance and everything than actually I was at 5 years or even 10 years into my hair loss. I honestly, like, I feel like you are like way ahead of the game.
It makes me feel really good, honestly, because I guess I'm a little hard on myself, but, I read something, maybe it was on your page, I don't know where, but it really stuck with me. It was, maybe it was from you, actually, but it was someone just saying, like, one thing that I regret and change is, like, I regret so much worrying about it so bad in my 20s and 30s.
Yes.
And I just wasted so much time just feeding that. And I just thought, I was like, I don't want to live my life like this. So that's why I'm trying to make a change and connect with people, connect with you,
Yeah. I mean, and that's what I didn't want anybody else to basically, I didn't want anybody else to be me. I didn't want anybody else to suffer in the way that I suffered or suffered for so long and so deeply and kept it to myself. And I mean, I altered my life in so many ways for this. I mean, overhead lighting and showering in the dark.
Yeah.
And by the way, I don't turn the main switch on, by the way, in my bathroom. That should be like duct taped, like no one can touch it. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, I have like the dimmer so I can like, see the shampoo. But like, that's how like I put on I only wear like mascara and eyeliner and concealer, but like I do it in the dark. I learned all these new little tricks, by losing my hair because I didn't want to see my hair fall out, even though I could feel it sliding down my body. I didn't want to see myself in the mirror because I was looking at myself eroding right in front of my face. So lights down, don't turn on the switch. Like these are things still to this day, by the way, as far as I've come and everything and the acceptance and the oversharing and I'm wearing a wig and all that good stuff. I still like have duct tape over the bathroom light switch.
I guess you just gotta laugh at it, but as far as I think Spencer had mentioned, or I don't know if I'm.
Yeah, it's fine.
Never mind. But the dating aspect of it. I mean, I dated after all that. I dated a guy for 3 years. No idea. He had no idea.
Yeah. Right. Well, yeah. Well, it's like he sees you, right? You know what's going on because it's your hair. So it's like thinner than it is, or it's half the amount of hair, or whatever. But somebody else seeing you for the first time, isn't, if it's not to a certain extent, if it's not crossed that line, they're not seeing it. So I didn't share that either.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, that relationship's over. But I know I've just had a few flings here and there, but no, they don't ever know. I mean, I feel like it keeps me from dating, but I mean, I do feel like I am starting to cross the line for myself. Like I have to part it the other way, but I found some other stuff some better stuff to spray on it. So that's the other thing. If what you have is not working out, there's other stuff out there.
Yeah.
Just you got to find the right thing.
Yeah, like you're talking about like the hair. Are you talking about like the hair fibers and stuff like that?
Yeah, I was using the hair fibers and I found this Bumble to Bumble, like it's like spray paint, I swear, or something.
You know what? Nothing wrong with a little spray paint in your head. Whatever you have to do. Whatever you have to do. Duct tape your light switch and put spray paint on your head. So, hold on one second. Let me just take a sip of this again. Hold on.
I know, I got to sip my second beer.
Okay, so I'm curious to know. So there's like, obviously, as you've so poignantly pointed out, I evaporated from the universe and, didn't really go into social media. But, so when I look on it now, like this really wasn't around, I mean, Instagram, I think started in 2010 and my hair loss started in 1999 and my site didn't start till 2007. So this wasn't like around for me when I was like, going through some of the worst parts of my hair loss. But I'm wondering for you, being so early on in your hair loss and with this community available online now,
in many different aspects, whether it's doctors posting about treatments or people posting about hair or whatever like that. Do you ever feel like you're being led down the wrong path, that people are disingenuous, that it's like ever been potentially harmful to you?
So actually, my mom, she's the only one person I talked about it, so she does her own research too, but she's not as thorough as me. So she was suggesting, like, let's just do a hair transplant surgery. I mean, just a little one. There's a couple different kinds, but I've researched and seen that women, aren't great candidates for that.
Just a little one, just a little surgery, a little transplant surgery, just a little one.
Apparently, apparently, I don't know how true this is or not, but that there's a part of in the back of your head that isn't affected by it. But I feel like that also might just be for men. I don't know. I just know that I've read that it's not as promising for women as it is for men, and I've always been very skeptical about it because also women are very hormonal.
Well, so the thing about that, just in case people are wondering, the reason why women don't make ideal candidates for a lot of women that have like female pattern hair loss, which is like the diffuse pattern, like it's falling out from all over your head, is because they don't have what men usually have, which is that what you're referring to, the back of the hair, like like you can see like George Costanza, and like he'd be so bald and he still has that wreath of hair back there. It's like DHT resistant hair. That's like hair that's like genetically programmed to not fall out. So they can actually, for men, most men, unless they have like DUPA, like basically, what do you call it, like overall thinning, they can just take that area and move it to the area they want to put it in, and it's going to not fall out very likely because that hair is not genetically pre-programmed to fall out. So women aren't so lucky. I think women that are candidates for hair transplants would be those that maybe they had like a facelift or something and they got like a spot, and they have all of their hair intact and they can like move it to that spot or whatever because they're not dealing with what we're dealing with, which is the overall shedding. Because if I were to get a transplant, the hair that was moved from the back of my head to the front is just going to fall out next week because my hair falls out from everywhere on my head. So nothing is safe.
Right.
I would just be left with a scar and, the cost of the surgery. Yeah. And this cost of the surgery, and I wouldn't be any better off. So for most women, it's not true for all women, but many women are not candidates for hair transplant surgery. And that's something that's really important that women should know,
And yes, and that's what I tried to explain to my mom, even though she did try to convince me. And I think she just, wanted me to be happy, but I was very skeptical of that for sure. So can you remember? I know it's, well, I guess it hasn't been that long because you said you didn't tell anyone until you got a wig or until you started wearing wigs. But what I want to know what it was like when you first came out to someone, like a friend, about, hey, I'm wearing a wig, or hey, I've been dealing with hair loss for so long. Like, what was their reaction? Was it easy? Like, were you nervous?
I was really scared too. I basically felt like, so the way I came into wig wearing was basically, it was 2012 and I had to be at a work conference and basically be around people that are coming to the booth and kind of like front and center and representing and all that. And so I was like, how is this going to work? My hair is completely ridiculous. I mean, completely useless. I don't feel attractive. I'm not going to be able to do anything. So I kind of went on like a panic mode of trying to find hair. It kind of pushed me to find hair. I did like online wig ordering first, and then then I eventually found Philia, and that's the wig that I got. But when I put it, it was so close to the length of my hair. So the first wig I got was so close to the length of my hair. Believe it or not, I was actually able to wear my wig and be around those same people that knew me for years, and they actually didn't know I was wearing a wig or anything had changed. That's how little people pay attention, by the way, because it was the same kind of color, it was the same length, it just all of a sudden looked good, and they're just like, oh, your hair looks good. Thanks, and then eventually I felt like I had to reveal it. It was just something like different scenarios might come up, I don't know what was going to happen. So I basically had to I don't have like a ton of friends, but the small network of people that, that I know, I had to go one by one and be like, So this is actually a wig, so and everybody was just like, "Oh, really?" And why, why are you wearing a wig? And I was like, "Well, I've been actually losing my hair, since I was 21 years old, and it's just getting to a point where I wasn't comfortable anymore." And actually, everybody responded very, very well to it. I will say that, believe it or not, I think the people that like accept it but really don't actually get it is actually my family.
Mhm.
And I know that's a hard one to understand, but like they get it. I mean, they know I have wigs. They know that I had dealt with hair loss. They know a website or whatever. They're just like not really that interested, but they don't get it. Like they still don't get it. And that's okay. You can't expect that everybody's going to like completely, understand your situation or why you're doing it. But they accept it. They know that like I can come in on any different kind of color hair. It's not a thing. It's not like something we talk about. In fact, like my mom will be like, "Oh, I like that one on you," or something like that. But nobody actually ever, in the 8 years I've actually been wearing hair, I can tell you, and then I went from that to being the oversharer, right? Where like I sent you that, video yesterday, right? Where I asked the bartender for you. I was like, what? Because he just found out I was wearing a wig. I'm like, can you make this video for my friend? Because, and so anyway, you see how little he
Hilarious.
cares, right? So I went,
Yeah.
but the thing is like, he may not understand. We can't expect people to deeply understand our pain and our struggle. Sometimes it just has to be good enough that they're like, okay, that's cool, whatever, you do you. And that's good enough. I think initially I wanted everybody to like understand the pain behind this. You have to realize what this means to me. And that actually gave me a lot of anxiety because I was like, they're not getting it on the level that they have to get it. Some people just will never get it. And that has to be good enough. But in 8 years of wearing hair, I was going to say I have only had one adverse reaction, by the way. And it was within the last year. And it was from a stranger. And it was in a bar. And I'm talking about 8 years of pulling my hair off at a bar. Okay. I'm talking about like 8 years of oversharing. I had one adverse reaction, and it was from a dude that came up to me to talk to me. And I don't know. I obviously said something. I think maybe he said he liked my hair, and I said it's a wig, as I do. And like he was weirded out, like wholly weirded out. Okay. Okay. So whatever. Another one bites the dust. Okay. So 8 years, one person. 8 years, one person. That is like some pretty good odds there. So people have to understand that if they're scared about wearing hair, people really don't care. I think mainly people don't really care is because like it doesn't really. I don't make it weird for them, right? So if I make something weird, you're gonna feel weird. But I'm so okay with it
Right.
that they're so okay with it too.
And see, that's what I admire about you, and that's where I strive to be in my journey is comfortable, and I can laugh about it, and say I'm not dying over here. I've just got less hair.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that takes a little bit of time to get to that point.
It takes you're getting there, like I said, way faster than me. I mean, think about these horrifying numbers I threw at you. Okay, so it took me a long time, and when I did start wearing wigs, it wasn't like that first year or whatever. I wasn't doing like the overshare wig tour. I was just telling the specific people that I thought I should let know, like my friends and then my family, and But like I said, initially, I didn't even tell them I put on a wig. They didn't even know. You know, I had done a YouTube video, it was a couple of years ago, and it said, "What do men think about hair loss?" And it was
Yeah.
actually with my friend Sophie's brother, Alex. And I basically just met him, and he had no idea I was wearing wigs or anything like that. And we went like on a trip to Palm Springs. I just picked up, I think I pulled off my hair and threw it on the counter or something. I don't know. And he was just like, huh. But like it wasn't like, and he talks about it, and he was like, he talks about it in the video. And the thing is like he doesn't. I think he said it in the video. He doesn't look at me as somebody that's like wearing hair, like, oh, there she is, the girl in the wig. Whether I had it on or whether I had it off, I am just me. So whether I'm going to be wearing a beanie cap or I'm going to be wearing my crap hair or I'm going to be wearing a wig, I'm still going to be just me. So once you have that, that provides a lot of peace to yourself.
Yeah, and that's very important when it comes to this situation, like with hair loss. Like you have to. I feel like that's like vital to like surviving and living in peace because and that's what I'm. That's why I feel like I'm in a prison sometimes because I don't talk about it with anyone. So
you probably. I think that you put yourself a little bit. You know what I did find that was interesting? The minute I started actually telling these people after I started wearing hair, what I found to be the most interesting thing about that whole process was in me sharing about something that was deeply devastating to me. Each one of these people, I don't know if they just felt they compelled they had to share something, but they actually started telling me something about themselves that wasn't hair related, but like a disorder or a situation or something that they've been dealing with that's affected them. So like me opening up about my thing made them share like their thing. And it was interesting.
Because everyone has a thing that they don't want to talk about.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah, we all just keep it all to ourselves and it's all our secret or whatever. And the more that you live out loud, I say like living it out loud, the less I can tell you this, the more you live out loud, the less you will feel like a prisoner. That's for sure. Almost like you're almost also like duped a little bit because like you grow up as women, we think we're not going to lose our hair, right? That's like a man thing. So also like I had such thick hair, my dad had thick hair. I just saw my brother still to this day, by the way, he's never lost a hair in his life. It's so thick that it grows upwards like an afro. He has to like bring it down. He's never lost a hair. So I was not under the impression that actually hair loss ran in my family. So come to find out after, kind of like the story that Spencer was saying, come to find out afterwards, oh yeah, my grandmother, my dad's mom was so bald. In fact, she would grow her hair out in a long like and braid it, and then she would like wrap it on top of her head to disguise her baldness. I did not know this. Then it's also then as my dad got like into his 60s, as he got that far, by the way, he started to thin, or in his 50s and 60s, the hair loss was there. I just never saw it. I didn't know it was like in the corner, like, lurking. And so yeah, it's a sneaky little bastard. Just I have to say, like, even though I didn't tell everybody watching, but I deal with, social anxiety. I also have phone anxiety. I don't like talking on the phone and stuff like that. But what I have found during the course of this conversation is with the laughter and with like sharing stories and finding humor and things, it's actually, even still at this point in my life, it's healing for me. Like it's still healing for me. So I really feel that like when people watch that and you're getting information and you're hearing stories, but you're also hearing the laughs, and there is laughs in this, believe it or not. And that's like, laughter is healing. So I actually really liked that part of it. And even just having this conversation with you and experiencing that, I'm like, I feel kind of good right now.
Yeah, and strangers can connect. Like I don't know either one of you from Eve,
Yeah.
or Adam. So yeah, it is nice to talk and laugh about it.
Yeah.
It's not all sad.
Exactly. You're awesome. And actually I could see your
Have I been good?
You're good. You're like, I mean, I really liked the way you communicated in your video and stuff like that. As you said, you counted your likes. I mean, I subtitled one of my videos and I kept having to write the word like, so I didn't even hear it, but I did realize it when I was writing it out. But you convey your feelings very well. You're very relatable. And while people aren't seeing you, you're, a super attractive girl and you're just genuine and authentic. And I feel so privileged and honored to be able to have you as the very first guest of this podcast.
Yeah, this is awesome. I mean, honestly, like, I didn't think whenever I came home, at 1 a.m. drunk, sending that to you, that be, your first guest on your podcast. So,
it's exciting.
Yeah,
it's very exciting.
Funny how life works. Yeah.
I want to thank you, Ashley, like tremendous, like really, it's a huge thank you for doing this. And it means a lot to me. And I know it's going to mean a lot to other people. And you'll see that you'll see it. Maybe not like in like, don't expect some like massive, like, all of a sudden I feel better, but you'll see in little ways that the more that you realize that you're helping other people, the more that you're healing yourself. So it does work that way, because that is what I found to be true.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll just once it's done, I'll just send that to like my 3 or 4 real close friends and be like, here, this is how I'm coming out.
But that, you know what? It's actually not a horrifying like idea of a way to let somebody know, and kind of like doing it in a kind of a cool way. It's like,
Yeah.
this is it.